Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed our first couple of interactive exercises, and I'm going to show you just a couple of tips and tricks to help you carry on your way. So if you want to clear the console, there's a little broom symbol up here that I just clicked, so that leaves me with a fresh and clean console. We can also do that over here with things in the environment right now. So even though I've cleared the console, R is still going to remember that I have the My Matrix matrix. So if I'm done using that and I have a really cluttered workspace with a lot of objects in it, I can also clear those objects. So I'm going to click Yes. Let's clear that. So now if I type My Matrix, get an error message because it's gone. Okay. So your next thing to do is going to be to complete our R introductory script, and that script is going to walk you through a bunch of additional things in R, but I want to show you a few things as you get started with that script. Okay, so here's our introductory workshop, and if I just click on this on my computer, that's going to wind up loading in base R. Well, let's just take a look at what that looks like. Okay, so here's that script. Here is my console window in base R. So I'm kind of missing some of those nice other pieces, so I'm just going to close back out of this again. And I'm going to quit out of R using a function called the quit function. R is asking if I would like to save everything that's in this console, and usually there's a bunch of errors in that, and it makes no sense, so I generally don't save that. Okay, so if I want to open this in RStudio, here I'm just going to use the open with to open it in RStudio. Okay, and what you see now is I have a new window that has appeared in the upper left corner. But there's a problem, right? Like if I want to read this, I'm going to have to scroll way out here. What a chore. So in our initial instructions, we gave you some tips on what to do about that, but I want to show you that as well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the Tools menu, and I'm going to select Global Options. And that's going to pull up a whole bunch of possibilities here. The only thing we're going to change right now is I'm going to go to Code, and I'm going to select a very important checkbox to soft wrap the R source files. So check that there. Click Apply, OK. And now I am saved from the pain of having to scroll back and forth. Okay. One other thing I want to show you, you need to read through this script file. Read everything that's in here, because it's going to tell you a lot of really important information. And along with that, for example, it's going to remind you should always write your code in a script. Don't write your code down in the console. Write it in a script. And you can make new scripts too up here if you just go to New Script. So you can go New Object, Thing 1, Thing 2, Thing 3. Okay? So you can make a new script, but how do we get this down to the console so it actually runs? So what you can do right now, my cursor is here on this line. You notice there's a button here to run the current line or the selection. So I could just do that. Another option is a keyboard shortcut. So if you do Command Return on a Mac, or if you do Control R on a PC, that'll send that line straight down to your other file. And you'll notice it advanced my cursor to the next line when I did that, right? So I can run that as many times as I would like. Quick and easy. So I made a new script file, but in this case I don't really want to save it. Okay, so as we note here, you also need to start making a habit of keeping some notes about how your code works inside of your script. Use this little hashtag symbol to do that. So it's a comment. So my cursor's on this comment line. If I go Command Return, well, it actually didn't run that line. It skipped everything that had a hashtag in front of it, and it jumped down to the next line of code that I could actually run. Okay, so it's your job to now work your way through the rest of this workshop and get comfortable working with R.